John Cena, he wrestled Gunther in the main event of Saturday night's main event. It was a John Cena tribute show, essentially. Super melodramatic. The match, I thought, and I'm curious to get your thoughts, Joe, and I know JD, you saw some of it. I thought the match was pretty good. I thought it was a good match. Gunther's an amazing wrestler, and John Cena, when he wants to, can really kick it up a notch. What did you think of the match? And then most importantly, what did you think of the finish? Because that's been it's been controversial among the Fed heads. I'm not even talking AEW fans. AEW fans are kind of like, they didn't like it either, but they're kind of like sitting back and like just watching the world burn down. They're kind of enjoying it. Fed heads are revolting against one Triple Paul. What are your thoughts, Joe?
I knew the finish the moment that they announced Gunther would be in the tournament, because like there's some things that WWE does where you just know exactly every step they're going to take. And Gunther's big matches, he taps people out to the sleeper hold. And then Gunther said he was going to make John Cena give up. And there are some times when WWE just flat out tells you what they're going to do, and then everybody acts surprised when they do it. I thought it was fine. I would have completely understood if they had Cena win. For the crowd moment, it would have gotten the big pop. I would have completely understood it. And again, I'm a bit younger than you guys, but I have been watching wrestling since 1999, I believe, maybe even 1998. I have watched a lot of older wrestling from the 70s and 80s. I really like guys losing on their way out. Stone Cold did it for The Rock. Ric Flair did it for Shawn Michaels. John Cena did it. And let me tell you, for years, for decades, people hounded Cena for never putting people over. And then the one time he does it, Lord have mercy, the house burns down. I thought the match was good. Cena really, hit all the hits. He was goofy. He was serious. The best thing he did was made sure everybody could see every single spot that he called in typical Cena fashion.
Yes.
Like he did not cover that up at all.
There were times where I thought he was giving the Gettysburg Address to how much he's talking.
Yeah. And it's kind of hard to catch if you're not looking for it. But before Cena hit the avalanche FU, Michael Cole did call it the FU a couple of times. I thought that was a nice touch by him. If you stare at Gunther, he actually makes Gunther laugh in the corner, which never had, that guy rarely breaks character. He said something to him that got him to chuckle. I thought Gunther was the perfect guy for the spot. Yeah. They had to assign extra security for Gunther walking out of the building because fans were rushing him and cussing him out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If Gunther opens the show on Monday, which he should, it'll be close to Roman Reigns after WrestleMania 34 when the fans booed him for 10 minutes straight and he just said, "My yard now," and walked out when Roman should have turned heel. Gunther might get that kind of heat. And I hope it flows through 2026 with AJ Styles, who's coming near the end. Said 2026 at some point is going to be his last year. Likely Chris Jericho, not overly excited about that, but that's probably coming, and likely Brock Lesnar. I think Gunther should retire all three of them.
Yeah. Joe, I agree with you. Look, I personally I wanted John Cena to win. Because I just really enjoyed that Sting match so much at Revolution. But the difference between Sting and John Cena is, the way that they presented Sting in AEW was Sting was Batman. Yeah. Sting never lost in AEW, and that was the perfect way for him to go out. John Cena lost all the fucking time. The last 10 years or so, he probably lost more matches than he won. He just lost to Dominic Mysterio a month ago. He got squashed by Brock Lesnar 2 months ago. He lost to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. This is everybody's saying hey, this superhero died in the end. That was and we'll talk about Jeff Jarrett's tweet in a sec, but that's what everybody was comparing it to, and it was like, no, this guy loses all the time, and he just was wanting to put Gunther over with Gunther's finish on the way out, much like how Gunther always wins. And I don't disagree with it. I just thought it would be kind of a cool moment to do that. They didn't do it, and I was not mad at all.
And to me, as a fan, it keeps Sting's moment special because you don't have just another moment like that. Sting gets to have that one unique moment of going out with the win. Austin did come back and he had the one versus Kevin Owens, entirely different to me.
Yeah.
Sting has that one unique moment where most guys of his age and his tenure in the business don't get to have that. So I like that Cena and Stings are kind of parallel to each other. Now I will say that place would have flipping erupted if Cena would have beat them. They
Oh, for
were
sure.
ready to blow the top off of it. But it was really awesome seeing all the people in the crowd crying like
Yeah.
immediately. Seeing Gunther go after the kid when the kid told him he stunk and he immediately walked over and started chatting with him. Like Gunther's the best. Like
Yeah.
there's a reason he's one of my favorite wrestlers going right now.
JD, what are your thoughts on this? Was this the right finish? Is this what JD would have done? And what did you think of it?
Week ago we were talking about it, and I said Cena's probably going to lose.
Yeah.
I had a couple. I don't know if there's issues. I think the Cena retirement tour. I think we can all admit that it was fumbled. It was flubbed. I don't want to say fumbled. That's like an internet door.
First 6 months, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think they. I agree. I don't think Levesque's a great booker. I've been saying this for a long time. I think that WWE is in a phenomenal marketing position. I think Nick Khan is really good at his job. And I think Triple H loves to be praised publicly. So I think this is going to bother him a little bit. The fact that people are starting to call him out, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that Cena losing was the right move. I do. Because it's just what WWE does. Like, I know we have this great Sting moment, the Sting moment. Let's not forget that wasn't supposed to be the Sting moment. Sting's last match was getting beat by Seth Rollins. That was how it was supposed to happen. So the fact that AEW exists gave us a chance to rewrite Sting's exit into the business, which was great. But I'm supposed to say it's bad because everything Tony Khan does is bad, according to Twitter. I don't love the guy whose phrase forever was never give up, giving up. I think as a character, I think strictly from a character moment, if I'm going to turn off my Dave Meltzer brain for a minute, I think giving up runs counter to what he was about. I think he could have gone to sleep.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't surrender. I think having John Cena give up is the wrong move. I think what's worse, though, was him acting like he didn't give a fuck afterwards. Like, I didn't see pain. Like, he looked like it was bothered for a second, then he was like okay with everything. And I don't it wasn't
JD, it seemed like he was happy it was over.
It did. It didn't seem like he fucking cared. It seemed like he's going to go, oh, thank God I can be done with this shit now. Like, it didn't seem like when Ric Flair lost to Shawn Michaels and he was in tears and it was just the worst thing that ever happened to him. Like, even though he knew it was time to go out, like, that's still probably one of the best times ever. Like, it didn't have that vibe. Like, he didn't seem like, I don't know, man. It seemed like from a pure character perspective, it seemed to kind of go against what the character John Cena stood for all these years. The fact that he gave up. And I know that everyone's going to tell me I'm wrong. Shut up, you hate WWE. Well, I do. And this stuff like this is the reason why, because Triple H is a vapid piece of shit. So, yeah.
Yeah. So the way that I took the finish was he's in the chokehold. He can't get out. And then he's smiling and he's like, I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to fight this anymore. I'm done now. So he gave the big smile and said, you got me, kid, and tapped out. And anybody that's ever rolled around in jiu-jitsu, I never felt like a quitter when I tapped out. I was just like, that's how I never felt that way. But I also, John Cena, that's not anything that he did. I think Joe, how many times did John Cena tap out? Just one time?
No, that would actually be his third or fourth time. Yeah, so actually fourth. So Chris Jericho, Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, and now Gunther.
Yeah, but I do agree with you, JD. I think passing out would have been the way to go, by the way. But go ahead.
How many of these were John Cena though, like in post 2005, right? Because there's or 2004. That's a different John Cena than
those were all pre John Cena winning the world title.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Now I will say, and somebody on Reddit brought up the point because the whole, him passing out was brought up, and they said, right, if he passes out, how long do you have him lay there in the ring selling the move passed out, or do you just have him get right up? Like, then you have to have the kids see John Cena pass out, and how much worse is that
Joe,
than them seeing him tap out?
Everything they do is so fucking slow. You wake up 20 seconds later.
Yeah. Like, no, he wakes up. No, dude, that's the okay. Look, let's do it. Let's talk about this. Like, oh god, I hate Reddit so much. Like, John Cena passes out. He goes out valiantly. He doesn't surrender. He doesn't quit. And then he fucking comes back to, and he pulls himself up rope by rope by rope while everybody cheers him because he's the old timer who's pulling himself back up like an unfucking forgiven with Clint Eastwood, struggling for one last breath. And then you get the people from the back coming out there, and then it's like he's disappointed, he's upset, but he sees how much he's beloved by the people and by the people backstage, and it would have been a much better moment.
Yeah, I disagree there. I think him tapping out is just fine.
Why? Yeah. Why is it good, Joe? Why is it good for the guy who taps out, who says never?
Because he was letting go of his career. It was his choice.
That's the way that I took it. I took it that way too. Like I agree that passing out would have been a better, more dramatic moment, but I didn't see the problem with him tapping out. Although I did have fun with it on Twitter, calling him a quitter.
Yeah,
I didn't.
But that's what the character is. Like it spits in the fact of almost 20 years of character development, right? Like why would that character not just give up? Especially if you know you're gonna die, why not just die? Why not die? Like I think that's like if you're gonna be the lone gunslinger dies. He doesn't like think about like these like the old cowboy films. At no point does a guy say, "Hey, you know what? You've got me beat here. Shoot me in the face."
Yeah. Like, so the thing is, JD, he's not dying. He signed a 5-year deal. He'll be back.
But the career is if he's back, that's even worse. Like
I'm pretty sure Clint Eastwood literally did that in Gran Torino.
Gran Torino's not a cowboy movie though.
It kind of is. Yeah. Like Gran Torino's kind of a cowboy.
It's a modern cowboy movie.
It is, but it is.
It's like the same thing, but with like a really cool car and like him and his barber like super racist.
Like super racist. Like no man, I totally do. But that's the thing, it's not a cowboy movie. That's in Gran Torino's a postmodern exhibitionist piece, and I don't want like that's not what what wrestling.
I'm pretty sure John Wayne also did that in The Cowboys.
The Cowboys was his last movie. Yeah, he was also kind of a villain in The Cowboys.
It was not his last movie. He made many movies after that. It was the only movie
Cowboys?
he died in. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was all think of the shootist? The shootist was.
I'm trying to think of what his last movie might have been McClintock or something like that. Hell, I don't know.
I honestly don't think
I have my grandpa's John Wayne clock hanging up over here, but I don't know.
I'm not even sure a cowboy movie was his last movie. He made some more modern movies towards the end.
Yeah.
Regardless, like it's still a terrible ending. It's still, and I'm not alone in this, by the way. When Triple H is doing a press conference, had people chanting AEW at him, which I'm sure
they were
stung him to his core.
Yeah, the WWE fan. So I think the most important thing that came out of this, like, okay, John Cena's gone. John Cena said it on Joe Rogan's podcast. He goes, "I'm retiring on the 13th. Everybody's gonna forget about me by the Royal Rumble." So, and you know what? He's actually right about that. That's just how fast the business moves.
That's true.
After the show was over, they did the post show, and Triple H was at the post show desk, and fans were chanting, "I think you got to fuck you, Triple H." There's AEW now. It's probably like 37 AEW fans doing this, but God bless them, right? God bless all of them for disrupting this post show presser. You got AEW chants. And if it were AEW fans, some of them said, "Bring back Vince." There's some Vince McMahon chants going on, which sex trafficking guy. I don't think we want to bring him back, but that was kind of their thing. Although Vince did make a cameo on the show via a pre-recorded tape from years ago talking about John Cena, which ultimately made Cena cry in the theatrics after the match was over. But could this be an undoing, not the undoing, because I think WWE is going to be just fine. But do you think that this is a strong enough thing to get a lot of WWE fans up in arms for more than just that night?
No, we're back to where we were in like 2015. Where like a section of the crowd is unhappy, but they have nowhere else to go because AEW is not good right now. So I mean, like, what are they going to do? They're just going to pay to bitch, and they're going to say there's a vocal minority. Like, it's just going to be the same way it used to be. Like, they just
it won't even show up in the shows. Gunther will get booed, but it won't be like when Daniel Bryan was getting pushed aside for Roman Reigns and the crowds literally took over the shows. It won't be like when they booked the stupid ass Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt that ended in a DQ, and the entire arena started chanting AEW 2 months before it debuted on TV. That's not going to happen.
No, here's what could happen though, is because the shows are trending down. Like ticket sales are trending down, not hugely, but there has been the trend over the last year. So I imagine that they could trend downward a little bit more, especially because Cena has been a big draw, and now you lose them, and you're coming back with Cody and Roman again for the third time. Typically, when something has done well before, it typically doesn't draw as good coming back. Stone Cold Rock is probably an anomaly.
The exception.
Yeah,
the exception to the rule.
It is the exception to the rule, but it's also when things started trending down in WWE. Like that's really kind of the end.
Well, and that wasn't because they did the third match. That was because they decided to turn Austin heel at his hottest.
The third match was
19. Yeah. That's when it started going down after 17.
Yeah, it did.
It did. But the end, it really starts to trend downward after that one. And that's so weird because that's not even really booked as it was Austin's retirement match. They didn't book it like that. They didn't promote it like that. Nobody knew it was a retirement match, but Austin and Vince. So that's kind of an anomaly in and of itself.
I think the office at the time fully believed that they would have Austin back in a year or two.
And I think
just
so.
Thought, and just thought, hey, he just needs some time to heal up and rest. And I think Cena will probably be back on TV, but I do fully believe he won't wrestle again because he is invested so much in acting. So when he says that he won't wrestle again, he does enjoy acting a ton. And his interviews with Mark Rinaldi, Chris Van Vliet, the guy is in pain. Like he physically his body is breaking down, and that's the reason he decided to do this. He did say he wanted to do 220 dates. I don't think his body would have held up for it.
Well, I also don't think he understood the modern schedule. They don't do that.
They don't have all the house shows anymore. I think the most a person would wrestle in WWE this year is around 75 matches without looking it up. And Jon Moxley, before he left WWE, had a year where he wrestled 200, and that was even trending down in WWE at that time. So I don't think Cena's body would have held up. I do truly believe that he won't wrestle again, but he's going to be involved a lot. He had a lot of fun going to Bayley's camp where they had, I think, about 40 women, all mostly indie talent, some NXT people, some TNA people, and doing coaching there. He's had a lot of fun doing the coaching in NXT. That's the kind of stuff that I think we'll see Cena.
Yeah.
Hey, those Saudi checks.
So that I think that could be the one exception is that the Crown Prince gives him a call for Saudi Mania.
I could see 5 years. I think I could see him coming back in about 5 years' time. I think he does. I think at
53 then.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's
not the way it used to be. Guys are going deeper than they ever have.
Yeah.
I think a couple years off might be what he needs. And like you said, money might be really good in about 5 years' time. I truly believe he thinks this is the last match he's ever going to wrestle. We'll see what happens at that time. He is going
to be very involved in DC as well. Him and James Gunn have become very tight. And a lot of that could change depending on what happens with Warner and kind of what they do with James Gunn after that. But I do think even if James Gunn loses Warner, him and John Cena have become very tight. And I think John Cena, like Batista, would be one of those guys who always has jobs in Hollywood because of the connections he's made in Hollywood.
Well, James Gunn is a guy who hires his friends constantly. It just, and most directors are, they like working with people they trust.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Scorsese is still booking Robert De Niro after all these years.
And DiCaprio.